Today we're going to be talking about golfer's elbow, whether that's in your lead or your trail arm, and a couple of things that I do that help me with recovery and just get back on track and get back to doing what I love, which is swinging those clubs and working on my game. So let's not waste any time and let's get right into the video. Here are a couple tips and warm-ups, things to help you maybe recover. Even better is to avoid the injury. And so even if you don't have golfer's elbow, this is a video that could be important to you to help avoid this. One thing that I wanted to touch on before we dive in is the reason why I'm dealing with my golf elbow and my trail wrist is because I have a very steep swing. So I take very big divots, and that's because when I'm coming down, I'm swinging very hard, and a lot of times I catch a lot of turf, and that is causing a lot of tension on the tendons in my elbow. By doing that, that's something that I need to work on in my game, because if I want to be playing more often and practice more often, especially on mats, that's where a lot of impact comes from. You can't be taking as steep of divots, or else you're going to put a lot of impact on your wrists as well as your elbows. Naturally, instead of my take back in a very steep swing, I'm trying to work on having a more shallow and not so steep of a swing. So that's something that I'm just working on in my game personally. Some of you guys might not deal with as steep of a swing as I do, so that's not as big of a concern, but this applies to everybody. So here we got some resistance bands. You do not want to have a super thick one. So I have, you guys can see right here, I have a red one that's slightly thicker that's attached to these metal shelves in my garage. But something that I've been doing to help is you want to get stimulation and blood flow before you swing. It's like stretching. Before you play basketball or go on a run, you want to stretch because that'll help get blood flow to those muscles and help the recovery instead of cause a lot more damage because you're operating or exercising on cold muscles. The focus here is to get blood flow to those elbow joints and get stimulation there. So whether that's using, like a butter knife or an old thick card, like an old credit card or something like that, what you can do is you want to stimulate the area. So if you have a card, your thumb or anything, and just rubbing the surface of your skin, and you'll see it getting red. But this is just bringing stimulation and blood flow to the area. So whether you have one of those, I think it's called TENS units, TNS, you can put some of those pads on your forearm and your bicep, and that will basically get your muscles to move without you having to do anything. So say you're driving to the course or you're about to practice, you can put a TENS unit on your arm and do some of that skin stimulation, and that will help some blood flow get there. Or if you have one of the TENS units, they cost $30 on Amazon, you can put those on and drive to the course and let that get that blood flow going to your elbows prior to the round. This is something that I've been having to work on, and I've been doing and warming up a lot more before a round or before I come into the garage and practice, since we're in the off season. But that's a great one. Another good one, I'm probably gonna do this next season. I'm gonna have one of these just light resistance bands in my bag, because no shame, I'm not embarrassed to pull out on the range or in the parking lot and just do a couple of light curls, and I'm gonna walk you guys through what I do. So the reason I have the thinnest one is because you don't want to cause fatigue. You're not trying to get tired and wear your arms and your elbows out and your biceps before a round of golf or before your practice, but you're just trying to stimulate blood. You're just trying to get blood flow there. So you want to do a lot of really light weight and just pull. So these are just basic bicep curls, and I'll do a good 50 to 100 of these. And again, it's very lightweight, but that is just causing stimulation and blood flow to go to those elbow joints, which is going to help with the recovery. Because when you're hitting the ground and you're making impact, there's constantly pressure and impact going into your elbows and your wrists. And so this is just going to help with that golfer's elbow. So that's a good one. Another one that I like to do, you can put it in a door frame, or these shelves are amazing, and that's why I really like them. I will tie it onto here. So I will tie these on here, and I'll just do the same thing, but now we're moving downward. So I'll just do basically what is a tricep press, and I will just get blood flow into those elbows as well. Obviously, these are also stimulating and firing off at your biceps and your triceps, but this can definitely help. Another thing for me is just overall strength training. I think a lot of the times, a lot of just average golfers or just people that just play for the weekends, is we go out there, we swing the heck out of our clubs, and then we're sore, our backs hurt, and all these different things. But there's so much in a golf swing. A lot of people think it's very low impact, but for me, I've actually dealt with a lot of injuries over the last 2-3 years, and that is due to not enough strength training, not enough warm-ups before a round or before I swing in practice. So doing things like strength training, working on your back, your flexibility, your biceps, triceps, all these different areas, to strengthen them, they're going to be able to take that impact, that intensity time over time. So it's very important that you work on your just overall strength, flexibility, and just improving your body so that it can take the impact that is swinging that club at such a fast speed and maybe making impact with the ground. That's going to help your body become more durable over time. The last thing that I want to touch on is recovery. If your elbow hurts so bad that even just basic functions, moving your arms around, is hurting you, you need to slow down. Slow it down for a bit, take some time off, and stop swinging those clubs and just let your body get back to recovery. Because what's going to happen is if you keep doing an injury on top of an injury, it's going to get to the point where you're having chronic pains and you're not going to be able to function, and you don't want to get onto a surgery table just because you overdid the golfer's elbow. So I was dealing with it really bad a couple of days ago, and so I've had to slow down, and I haven't been practicing in the garage because I've needed to let this recover. And that's most important, is recovery. So warm up, do your recovery, and take all necessary precautions. You know, like you just don't want to really put injury on top of injury and end up not being able to play due to the damage that you've done. I hope this information helps, and definitely let me know what you think. If you have golfer's elbow and there's any tips or pointers that you've gotten from anybody else, let me know. I would love to hear what other methods or techniques people use to warm up before a round. But I hope this video helps you. I know it's a short one, but I think there's a lot of good information and a lot that you guys can get out of this. So make sure to work on yourself, improve that golfer's elbow. I appreciate you guys. Thank you guys so much for watching this video, and we'll see you in the next one. Peace out, guys.